Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? Peace, Hotep. We back in this motherfucker, asharenu. Let's get it in. Hope everybody is good. Make sure the camera is good. Yeah, that's good. You see the sun is shining bright today, so excuse the sun, but we gonna get it in. We'll let everybody come in and make it happen. Man, let me see if y'all can see this shit. Hold on. About to get it in. Let's see if y'all can see this. Yeah. Alright. Get this right. So we're gonna roll up a little something before we get it in. Channel the spirits. Make it happen. Give me 1 second. We got the filter, raw papers. Okay. So, nonetheless, let's get it started. Now, the first things first. What does Revelation break down to? Peace. What's good, Moon Spirit? What's good, Leandro? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's up? What's up? We just getting started, so y'all didn't miss out on anything. We just rolling up some herb. We just rolling up while the people come in. Just giving people some time. Get their ass in here. Get this game. Alright? So first things first. The word revelation breaks down to the number 13. So when I'm smoking, we smoking on the Crown OG. See if y'all can see it one more time. Alright, we don't want it to fall out. So the word revelation itself breaks down to the number 13. And if y'all saw my video on the Antichrist, then you kind of know where I'm going with it. Yeah, we smoking on the sativa. You know what I mean? Definitely always keep a grinder on you. I got tools all over the place. You know what I mean? I got a little pistol disguised as a knife so you can put this in. You know what I mean? Whatever. We got some scissors. Shout out to you, Cali. You know what I mean? You getting lit. That's what's up. So first things first. Revelation itself, the word revelation breaks down to 13, and we're going to be dealing with the 13th chapter. I appreciate it, homie. I appreciate it. We're going to be dealing with the 13th chapter. Now, what is it about this number 13 for those who may not have seen my Antichrist video? And if you didn't see it, then you definitely go watch it after this. Because my videos all definitely connect. So you definitely want to keep up, stay in tune. Because I may mention things that have already been mentioned. So you had to keep up. Otherwise, you're going to miss some things. What's good, Sharice? What's good? What's good? So why did I pick the 13th chapter? What's up, Allure? What's up? What's up? Why did I pick the 13th chapter? Why not? Because again, 13 is supposed to be this unlucky number, but if you go to the Far East, the Chinese consider the number 13 a lucky number. So why is it considered unlucky in America? Again, as we were speaking, there is no 13 floors. Again, most buildings skip the 13th floor, no 13 streets. Some cities have them, but a lot of cities don't. The more religious cities don't deal with the number 13, but a lot of cities do. So what is this? What is this energy behind the number 13? If we want to take it to a cosmic origin, because this actually has a cosmic origin, if you look into the mythology, there was a planet. It was a planet that begins with an M. I'm not gonna reveal everything. Everybody will have to do their own research. It's a planet that began with the letter M, and This planet basically self-destructed. What's good? Disobey death wish. This planet definitely self-destructed. So this fear or this phobia, the number 13, comes from a cosmic or ancient origin. So it's not necessarily something that was human-made or came from humans. This is something a lot more deeper. However, if you want that type of information, you got to dig through, the archives to see exactly what I'm talking about. But we're just going to deal with the Bible for now. And I'm using the Bible because everybody's familiar with it. You know what I mean? People are less familiar with the Quran. I would prefer to use the Quran, but people are more familiar with the Bible. I know the name is on the top of your tongue. Yeah, so y'all know what I'm talking about. So select people who done been studying. They know exactly what I'm talking about. But, for those who may not know, you got to do your studies because this goes a lot deeper than meets the eye. Trust me. So again, I don't have any notes today. I'm going to actually just try to go off the dome. I'm going to try to go off the dome. Like, I haven't actually decoded anything. You studying the Quran right now. Salute to you, man. It's a lot of information in there. But definitely study Sufism. Study the Sufism so you can learn it properly. Also apply those mathematics, the supreme mathematics and the numerology. Apply those mathematics so you can definitely get those esoteric meanings from the Bible and don't take it literally. So give me 1 second. Let me roll a little something. You're not going to smoke too much. Suck. Trying to keep up the best you can. Do the best y'all can. Again, I know everybody have different schedules. I know everybody's in all type of different time zones. So I feel you. But when you get an opportunity, definitely, if you can't keep up with this, because I know I'm coming every day. When I used to upload a video like once a month or something, then it probably was a little easier. Hearing all type of noise, a UPS. So I understand. When I was uploading once a week or once a month, you can keep up, but just times are different now. Times are different. We got to come every fucking day. Like, there is no days off. There is no days off. You once said All Eyes on Me was the most occult album in hip-hop history. Quick example. How you doing, man? Thank you so much.
Oh, you have a good one.
You too. Oh, shit. Let me not waste my weed. You see, when this shit is live, we getting packages and shit. Now, based on what we just said, I was asked, I said All Eyes on Me was the most occult album in the history of hip-hop. Now, I'll tell you why in just a second. And for all those who don't know what he's talking about, when I say All Eyes on Me was the most occult album, this is an album by Machiavelli or Tupac. Watch my Machiavelli Magic video that I made last year if you want deeper insight. No, he didn't say nothing about the weed. It's Vegas. You know what I mean? He already knew. But he just doing his job. You know what I mean? Niggas really get high out here, so it just is what it is. It's a way of life. Just a way of life, so ain't nobody tripping. You know what I mean? You be seeing me smoking all the fucking time. In a park, I'm just be walking around. You see, ain't nobody saying nothing to me. Because it's an art to it. It's an art to smoking. You know what I mean? It's an art. Once you know the streets, you know where to smoke and not to smoke. You said not in Norway they call the cops instantly. You just have to know. You have to know where to smoke, where not to smoke, who's cool, who's not cool. You gotta know your city. So you gotta go to those selected spots so that you can, do what you gotta do. So, fuck the law. Do what's lawful to your birthright. You know what I mean? So yeah, we already know what the fucking deal is. You trying to manifest your way to Cali for the experience? Utilize your mind, man. Do the same thing I did. I was right in your shoes. I wanted to be in Cali when I was in Detroit. Every day at 4 a.m., I woke up every day at 4 a.m., meditated for a whole hour, utilizing my mind. What am I going to do in Cali? How Cali looks, the experiences I was going to have. I did this for at least months. Like 30 to 90 days. I'm just thinking about every day, 4 a.m., I'm thinking about it. Every day. You in Detroit right now trying to get the heck out? Come to the West Coast, you know what I mean? Come over to the West Coast. You see how we living, you know what I mean? Come to the West Coast, smoke your weed up, and just have a good time. Now, of course, the difference between Las Vegas and California, obviously the cost of living is a lot more higher, but it's what you get for the experience that make it worthwhile. Because obviously there's people still there, because that's the most complaint. The number one complaint I get about being in California is the cost of living is too high. But if you take your ass to California, there's people there, still there. So for the people who's not there talking about the cost of living is too high, well, what about the people that are there? How are they making a living? How are they getting by? You know what I mean? So we just can't use no excuses when it comes to that. You know what I mean? So we definitely gotta, if you put your mind to it, you can get there. And if you got enough hustle, you got enough ambition, because we talking about the number 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. Rahu. It's all about, so work with the number 4 or 444. If you're trying to get your hustle up, you're trying to get your ambition up and all that, you got to work with the number 13 or 444. You know, you can chant 13 directly or just say 444 or just 4. Definitely get your hustle up, get your ambitions up. But hold on. Somebody asked me, how do you pass a drug test? What's up, William? You rather live in a regular house in LA than a mansion in Ohio? I feel you, bro. I feel you, because, you know, LA is LA. California is California. There is no other place like it. So I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree, and I totally understand that perspective, because you have way more opportunities available to you. You know what I mean? You have way more opportunities. So fuck it. Even if you making minimum wage or living in the fucking slums, you don't have to be there. You may lay your head there, but you don't have to be there. So many people want to live in Canada. Canada is a little bit too cold for me, but I understand. I'm pretty sure Canada is a very beautiful place, but I'm just not with the cold. You know, that's why, like, I had to move from Detroit. Then even when I went to New York, I'm like, man, I'm not trying to deal with this snow. I'm not trying to deal with this rain. I'm not trying to deal with no sunlight. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure how New York is in the summer, but it just didn't make sense to me to be in New York during the summer when you can be on the West Coast. But to each his own. You know what I mean? It's like some people prefer the cold, some people don't give a fuck about the cold. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm just not one of those people, because I grew up in the cold, so I'm like, I'm going to spend the rest of my life when I don't ever have to see snow if I don't want to, unless, you know, I choose to. But the question was, how do you pass a drug test? How do you pass a drug test? You got to activate the spirit. It's flat out. Like, I think you have to not smoke for 30 days. All right, so let me give you 2 examples. If you're trying to stop smoking, you know, to get a job, to get in the door for 30 days, then I suggest you fast. Because when you fast, that hunger for the weed to smoke is not going to be there. Like, the last time I smoked was the last time y'all seen me smoke on that Antichrist video. That's the last time I smoked. This is my first time smoking since that video. Like, I'm saying it like it was a week ago, but it was like a couple days ago, maybe 2 days ago, whenever the fuck it was. Yeah, 2 days ago. But I haven't smoked since then because I've been fasting. So when you fasting, you know, you don't feel that urge to smoke at all because your body is going through its motions. So instead of you having a hunger to smoke, your body's going to be doing other things. And of course, you keep your mind occupied with other shit, spirituality to be exact, and you just not thinking about it. So that's for the people who want to stop just to get through the door. But for those who don't want to stop, then you got to activate the spirit. Like, if you ain't trying to bring in fake piss and all that shit, you just got to tap into the spirit and work out. Just work out. You know what I mean? You got to work out every day. You just got to hustle for it. You know what I mean? Like, what happens is the THC be sticking to the fat cells. That's what makes weed stay in your body longer. If you was doing like popping pills or, you know, doing all type of hard drugs, they don't really stay in your system. The only thing the only drug that really stays in your system is the herb. You know what I mean? So we just got to do the knowledge. Definitely inform yourself and educate yourself. Yeah, definitely shout out to Spain. You know, Spain got a lot of Moorish history for those who know about the Moors. So definitely shout out to Spain. Shout out to Germany. Just shout out to the whole Europe, the whole UK, London. Like I said, Norway. Shout out to all y'all. The spirituality is cool. Okay, I see you, Allure. For those in the live feed, she's basically telling you. But for those who may be watching this after the live stream, I guess I can say it. Cleanse your body, H2O, green tea, cranberry juice for 2 days. Go to a vitamin store to buy the liquid. So for those who may be watching after this, that's basically how to get your body on point. Worked out fast and been waking up at 3 a.m. Shout out to you, JJ. What is it? Mercedes said, why can't I work a 9 to 5? Why can't you work, or why don't you want to work? Because you may just be an entrepreneur, and jobs are not for you. You got to build your own revenue streams. That's just what it may be. You just have to build up your own revenue streams. You know what I mean? But that's for the chosen few who can take the pressure, because you are taking the hard way of life. You know what I mean? You taking a hard route. But if you can endure it and you can bear it, then it is what it is. You try to make money with the job and the universe don't want me there. I hate it. Well, fuck a job then. Fuck the 9 to 5. If you ain't supposed to be there, then don't be there. If the universe is not allowing you to do it, then don't do it. You know what I mean? You just have to find another route. That's all it is. You just got to find another route. But that's taking a hard way in life. You know what I mean? Some people, it just depends on how serious you are. Some people choose to live in their car. Some people say fuck paying rent. They rather live in their car. Some people say fuck it, I'd rather sleep in the fucking parks. I'd rather sleep in the daytime and be up at night. So it really depends on how powerful your hustle is and how far you're willing to go for your independence. How far are you willing to go for your freedom? How many risks are you willing to take? So you really just got to ask yourself, like, what are you willing to do? I believe somebody asked me that before, like, how do you make money? How do you make money? It's like, yo, you got to ask yourself, what are you willing to do to get money? What are you willing to do to get money? Because if you're willing to do anything to get money, you can get some money instantly if you're willing to do anything for it. So you got to ask yourself, what are you willing to do to get money? And once you figure out what you're willing to do to get money, then you can take a direction as to how to achieve that goal. So you just got to ask yourself, what are you willing to do? And what aren't you willing to do? So if you aren't willing to work a 9 to 5, then you must get out into the streets and hustle or build up an online business. Either way, you know what I mean? Definitely use the internet. You got to use the internet. And nowadays, that's just an extra revenue stream. You know what I mean? But it takes time to build that up. So in the meantime, you got to hit these streets and you got to do what you must. You know what I mean? You was living out your Jeep for a hot grip. It is what it is. Because it really don't matter. It really don't matter what your circumstances are, your situation is. It's all about the mentality. It's all about the mentality. If you wake up every day with a goal, with a mission to accomplish, every day you're moving forward, then fuck it. You know what I mean? You can do it. You know what I mean? So, your power cannot be contained in 3D, then you got to evolve to 5D. You got to evolve to 6D. You got to evolve. You got to evolve. And again, what that really means is you have to add more dimensions to your life. What does it mean to add more dimensions to your life? That's why I talk about numerology. That's why I talk about astrology. That's why I talk about supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, divination, tarot cards. This is how you add depth to your life. So that's how you become 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional, 6th dimensional, so on and so forth. You have to add more depth to your life. And when you add more depth to your life, you can see more of reality. Certain things that was invisible to you now become visible to you because you're adding more layers to your existence. You know what I mean? But I'm sitting here just letting this weed sit. So let me actually roll this up and let's get into the video. You know what I mean? We just chilling. We already 20 minutes in. I ain't even started talking about shit. Mass spirituality at your jobs. Exactly. See, you can bring your spirituality to your job if your mind is powerful enough. You know what I mean? You keep getting shitty jobs, even trying to manifest better. What should you do? Basically what I was just saying, you have to bring your spirituality to your job. There is no such thing as a perfect job. However, when you bring your spirituality to the job, you can change the frequency of your personal experience. In other words, like I say, if you're chanting numbers, you're doing your spirituality, you're building your altars, you got your mind focused, then you can bring the spirituality to the job. Now you say, well, why bring spirituality to a job when you could be an entrepreneur? Maybe you're just trying to stack your money. You know what I mean? So again, I don't knock nobody's hustle. I don't knock nobody's way of life. You got to do what you must. So if you got to work a 9 to 5, let's just say for a year, so you can comfortably do your entrepreneur thing, then so be it. So be it. If you got bills to pay, you got kids to feed, so be it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the goal. So as long as you're trying to make it out, then you do what you must. So while you're there, for those who do work 9 to 5s, while you in the 9 to 5, you have to bring your spirituality to your job, which will change your experience. It will completely change your experience. But if you already have it set in your mind that I hate this job, this is a shitty job, whatever, whatever, it ain't gonna be no change. You must change yourself, change your perspective, add your spirituality to everything you're doing. And I speak from experience. I'll give you an example. Let me give y'all some examples from when I used to work my 9 to 5 and how I enhanced my reality. Right? Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm just sitting here. Hold on. Let me actually fire this shit up. Let's get it in. Hold on. Let's roll this up. Give me 1 second, y'all. Trying not to make a mess. So, what do I mean by bringing spirituality to your job? I'll give you an example. When I was working, the first thing I would do when I woke up was chant clean. K-L-E-E-M, clean. You know, I've been talking about this mantra forever now. But I would keep clean on my mind the whole fucking day, from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. Now, I didn't do it every day because I wanted to see the difference. I wanted to see, okay, what will be the difference if I don't do anything spiritual today versus when I do activate my spirituality. So the days where I didn't chant clean, the day was regular. You know what I mean? The bullshit we all go through, right? Regular shit. But the days when I chant clean, when I actually chanted clean, there was events that would happen that otherwise would not have happened. Now, what do I mean? See, clean is all about social relationships and enhancing, your circle, enhancing your friendship circle. So, on the days that I would chant clean, people would talk to me that normally wouldn't speak to me. People that would walk right past me with a straight face, not say nothing, not give a fuck. Now, all of a sudden, they respond to me completely different. Because as I said, people are not set in stone. Just because somebody may not like you or may not speak to you or, I guess, be kind of standoff towards you, that's not a permanent feeling. One day they may not feel you, but if you come in and the next day spiritually charged up, motherfuckers are going to react to you very differently. And again, I've seen this with my own eyes and my own personal experience. People that don't give a fuck, all of a sudden now they give a fuck. Women that didn't give you their number, all of a sudden now they giving you their number. Exactly. People change just like the weather. Trust me. You know what I mean? So we don't have to look at it, oh, my boss is a dick or an asshole or she's an asshole or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's all about you. It's all about the energy you bring to whatever environment that you place yourself in. It's all about the energy that you bring. That's what controls your experience personally. It's about the energy you bring to your environment. Whatever environment that you enter into, it's about your energy. It's not about how people are or what the situation may be. Because you can manipulate any situation you're in using your mentality. It's about how you think. So again, if you think, I have a shitty job, then that's going to be the reality, right? We learn that with the law of attraction. You don't talk about what you don't want, you talk about what you do want. You don't talk about how fucked up the world is, you talk about how beautiful your reality is within yourself. So you talk about how beautiful your imagination is, how beautiful your thoughts is. Fuck what the fuck is going on the outside. Because if you want your inside to reflect your outside, which it already is, but if you're not satisfied with your results, then you must change your self-talk. The conversation, not the conversation you have with other people, but the conversation you have with yourself. The solar plexus. Work with your solar plexus, the color yellow, to influence your self-talk. If y'all into crystals, citrine. Work with the citrine crystal. or, yellow crystals, whatever y'all want to do, whatever your personal formula is. And again, y'all see, I've been talking for 25 minutes, didn't even spark this shit up. That just let you know, like, when the spirituality take over, I don't even be thinking about the weed. Like, I should have fired this shit up. I should have already had it rolled up, but I'm just taking my sweet ass time. And we just building for right now. But as I said, it's all about the energy you bring to the environment you're in. So you must have a better relationship with yourself. Enhance your thoughts and your imaginations and make your inner world as vivid and beautiful as possible. And you will start to see it being reflected on the outside just by how people treat you. You know? Do I ever read Robert Anton Wilson's book? I've heard that name before, but I'm not familiar with that person's works. Robert Anton, I've heard that name, but I'm not sure who that is. Like, I'm not sure. Even though I got like most of the authors I read, people have never even heard about because they never really been popular books. That esoteric shit, that Kabbalah shit, most people ain't reading that shit. Most people ain't reading 400, 500, 600 page books. They're not reading that type of shit. So most of the authors that I read, people was not even into. They're not about to take up all that time. So that's that. Hold on. But I'll definitely check homie out. Alright. You got a bomb from New York. That's what's up. That's what's up, Afro Pick. Alright. We finally got this shit rolled up. And we can start the video. You just tired of it? That's what I'm saying. Watch your language. Fuck what you tired of. What are you happy about? Because we can talk about all day how fucked up the world is, right? We can have that conversation all day. You can walk up to anybody and say, man, this world is fucked up, and they probably will agree with you. But what are you happy about? You spent your last on her. It is what it is, you know what I mean? It's medicine. Focus on the good. It's not even that you got to focus on the good. It's just you focus on what you're into. All like the birds and the bees and the weather and nature. You ain't got to necessarily be positive like that. Just focus on the type of shit that you're into. That's what it means by enhancing your self-talk. Focus on the shit that you fuck with. You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying, that's the difference between positive thinking and, being clear with your thinking. Because people who think positive think like, yeah, the birds is beautiful, the bees is beautiful, nature is beautiful, people are beautiful, yada, yada, yada. All right, cool. But what are you into? Because that's not telling you nothing about them. That's why people don't really have true personalities. If motherfuckers is just going around talking about how good the world is, well, what do you like, motherfucker? What are you into? Besides the birds and the bees in nature. Like, I want to hear about what you like doing, what you're into, your personal experience, and the things that you're trying to bring into existence. I don't give a fuck about the birds and the bees. We all know nature is beautiful, no doubt. But what's beautiful to you? What's your inner beauty that you're trying to reflect outwardly, right? That's what's more important than positive thinking. All right, so we're good. We're good now. All right. So we basically just kicking it. We just kicking it for now. So we're going to dedicate this session to the number 13. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. We're going to shout out the hip-hop ancestors, of course. Machiavelli, Eazy-E, Mac Dre, DJ Screw, Fat Pat, Big Hawk, Pimp C, So the Slim, No Infamous, J Dilla, Batten, Blade Ice, Will Proof, Sack Bundle, Sings Drugs, Jam Master J, Scott LaRock, ODB, B.I.G., everybody that's passed along, all the ancestors known and unknown. You know what I mean? Hotep, Asha. We know how it is. We're just calling out the spirits. So since we're working with 13, You was born 6/13. Shout out to you, homie. June 13th. Shout out to you, homie. You know what I mean? So let me make sure there's no security around this motherfucker. Even though we gonna smoke anyway. Yeah, we definitely fucking with the libations. Alright, we good. What's good, X? You in the subway, Leandro? That's what's up, pimpin'. That's the best time to conduct experiments on people in the subway. Conduct experiments. Like for all those who use public transportation, conduct experiments on people in the subway. It's a lot of fucking smoke, right? I'm not gonna smoke this whole thing. We gonna get to the subject matter at hand. We just gonna get into the zone. I'll finish this up later. All right. So as we see, we got the Holy Bible with us. You just got here? What's up, Anna? No, you didn't miss. You missed absolutely nothing. The video hasn't even started. Honestly, the video has not even started. We just kicking it for now. We just kicking it. Shout out to everybody that's rolling with me. We'll take a couple more puffs and we're gonna get the video started. We're just powering up. Yep. Shout out to everybody that's puffed up with their spirituality. You know what I mean? You know, weed without spirituality really don't make no sense. Let's just keep it 100. Because you can do so much more with your spiritual mind. Shout out to you, Ashley. Oh, shit. Get to smoke all in my eyes. I appreciate the donation as well. You know what I mean? Everybody who fuck with me heavy, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, we got a lot of shit in store. Like I said, definitely join the Facebook group if you on Facebook. If not, you know what I mean, check out the website. Exactly, you know what I mean? Make your smoking experience magical. Make your smoking experience magical. Channel the ancestors, you know what I mean? For those who want to talk to spirits and all that, let the spirits speak to you. The sober lifestyle, shout out to you, homie, because I know it's not easy being sober. I appreciate, I look up to y'all. Honestly, you know, that's it. I look up for motherfuckers who can stay sober in this motherfucking 3D reality. So salute to you. I know it's a tough job to be sober, to be honorable. Peace, Almighty. What's up? What's up? All right, let's get this shit in. Making every act magical and sacred. Exactly. All right, so as we see, Revelations, right? Revelations chapter 13. Revelations chapter 13 has 18 verses. Now what we're going to do is, we see that it's numerology behind every one of these verses. Of course, you got the first verse, the second verse, the third verse, so on and so on till you get to the number 18. So we're going to use numerology. We can use supreme mathematics and we can use astrology and numerology and see how we can decode the esoteric meanings of the Bible. So I'm using Revelations chapter 13. So I know everybody got a fucking Bible. Everybody got a Bible, even if it ain't yours. It's somewhere in the fucking house. And if you don't have one, you can go to your local church and get one for free. I believe they give out Bibles for free. So instead of looking at this shit as some religious shit, we look at this as an alchemical book. You know what I mean? This is alchemical. So we want to decode the alchemy out of this alchemical book so we can decode the spells and the charms and why this book is so powerful. What makes this book is so powerful it's not because people are lying about the Bible or people are massively deceived. No, this is a book of spells. You know what I mean? This is motherfucking, you can call it witchcraft if you want to, if you can decode the mysteries. It's truly witchcraft. It's occult information. You know what I mean? So this is a weapon if you know how to read it. We saw what happened with Nat Turner. For those who don't know Nat Turner, he was a slave revolt. Of course, he was much, much more. But basically, he was a rebellious slave, and he was killing babies and children. You know, he was killing the whole family of the slave masters. But what was his spark? The Bible. He read the Bible, and the spirit, that outlaw spirit, that 13 spirit came over him, and he did what he had to do. That 13 spirit came. So Revelation, which breaks down to 13, or the number 4, the 13th chapter, which breaks down to the number 4. So we already know. So, what type of energy, what type of spirit is truly in this book? Because obviously, who reads the Bible and start taking heads off? Because based on how the Bible is taught, it tells you to turn the other cheek, be a good, noble person and all that. It's not telling you to cut off heads, especially a baby and children. Babies, kids, women, you know, of course, men anyway, but you're killing the husband, the wife, and the kids. So we can, there's all type of spells and charms and spirits in this mode. This is really all you need. Once you know how to decode the mysteries, like every story of, we can say the 72 Goetia, for those who know what the 72 Goetia is, the 72 chambers of the third eye, the 72 Goetias. All stories of demons are in the book. The book gives you the personality or the image of the demon. So all type of shit is in here. So if you want to know the attributes of demons, they're all in here. They're all in here. Of course, the story is going to be negative geared towards them, and saints are going to be rebelling against, devils and all that. But since we know that it's talking about alchemy, it's not talking about people actually fighting against demonic spirits. It's talking about alchemy. Because it's talking about alchemy, we know we got a bunch of spells and charms in this motherfucker once we look at it from an esoteric manner. So let's read verse number 1. We don't even have to go through all of the 18. We can just give a few examples. You have a newfound respect for the Bible? Exactly. Because we understand you have to apply your own magic to the book. That's what activates it. It's you applying your magic to the book that activates it. So if somebody is just telling you stuff that you really don't truly understand because you didn't really read it yourself, or you feel like you can't understand it, or whatever, once it's always in third person, they can control the narrative. So if they want to paint something bad or good, you can truly paint any type of picture you want, because this is truly a book of spells and charms. So that's why you got Christians that's with turn the other cheek, but then you have people who use this, and to enslave people to get away with all type of stuff. So the same book that's used to heal will be the same book that used to kill, because that's the power. Energy is neutral. Energy is neutral. So there truly is no karma in the sense that we look at it, and that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. But this is the truth, because just like if you get caught up with the cops and you go to jail, what the judge tell you? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Right? So, ignorance of the law. If ignorance of the law is no excuse, what law are you ignorant of? This is a book of laws. If we're talking about alchemy, this is the law book, right? You got to put your hand on the fucking Bible in the courtroom. Put your hand on your chest, all that shit, right? So this is the book they stand on. So this is also the book that all type of different types of people and sets of groups, all type of the Gnostic thinking, all that. All this is the foundation. So does this make it a pure book? Because they say, okay, the Bible has been, changed and manipulated and all type of shit has been taken out and thrown in. Yes, the stories have changed, but the alchemy hasn't changed. This is the only reason why this book is still here. This book isn't here necessarily because this is the enemy of people and this is what's enslaving people. They're right, this is what's enslaving people, but it doesn't make the book evil. It's just energy is neutral, and from the book they learn the spell work and they utilize the spells. Energy doesn't become something until you direct it. Energy in and of itself is neutral. It's at your disposal. Energy in and of itself is at your disposal. Therefore, it's only until you direct it that it becomes either positive or negative, good, bad, right, or when you begin to label it. So, knowing this, when we approach this book or any book, like I said, it can be a Quran, it can be a Torah, the Book of the Dead Sea Scrolls, etc., etc., etc. Like it can be any book that's held to a high regards. It's going to be a bunch of stories. Essentially, this is a book of stories. It's all stories. But the esoteric meaning is there. This is why the numbers are in front. The numbers are in front as gateways or as portals for you to decode the story that's being told. So you utilize the numbers and you apply it to what you just read. Because if you just read it like a story, like a regular story, it's just going to seem like a vision. Like, for example, Revelation chapter 13 is a man telling his vision. These are not actual events. He's talking about visions. The revelation is a vision, not what's being perceived by the physical eye. So the story in and of itself isn't even referring to a physical act. So this part of the book or this particular chapter isn't historical. So we have parts of the Bible that may be deemed historical, but we see that because of the Bible is a compilation of books, there's many stories from different points of view. So this particular point of view is talking about a vision that a man had. So he's giving you his vision. I guess he's speaking the words, somebody's recording it. Now, you can just take that from that and like, okay, this is just his vision, his dream. He's having a vision of the apocalypse or the coming end. Why would he have a vision of the coming end? As we know, this is so-called when the world will end. Now, when they say the world will end, is it being literal or esoteric? Let's think about it. Because you see how that can go two ways. Because if you take that literally, if you take, okay, one day the world is going to end. If you take that literally, that gives you an excuse to do what we consider wrong. We only live one life. We got one life to live. You're not young forever. We only live. Life is short. Right? We hear all this stuff. So that incline makes you want to go harder. Like, okay, I gotta do as much as I fucking can. I only got one life to live. Life is short. You only young once or whatever. You're constantly growing older. Your body's gonna get slower. However, if you look at it from the esoteric view, the end of the world, you know that this is talking about the end of a cycle of consciousness or the end of a aeon. for those who are into the aeons, or the end of a age. Esoterically, it's referring to the end of a cycle or end of an age. So, what he's describing in his revelation is the destruction of a particular consciousness. So, from this perspective, as we go through the story, we see what is attempting to be said beyond the surface. Now that we have laid the foundation, what is attempting to be said? Because once we can interpret what's attempted to be said, everybody will have their own definition. I'm giving you my perspective, but everybody's going to have their own personal path to understanding it. That's what makes the book what it is, because it's going to show you your own mind. The type of things that stand out to you for whatever reason is going to be based on your mind. There's going to be particular stories that you are more inclined to read, or that are more interesting to read than others. It may be a particular character that's more interesting to you than another character. You may be drawn to particular prophets more than other prophets. And I would just ask, do I think the Bible has historical significance, basically, or were the prophets real? I look at the prophets as states of consciousness, or aeons, or cycles. It was the cycle of Jesus. It was the cycle of Moses, or ages, right? Going through the sun, going through the zodiac signs, right? So when you go through this particular zodiac sign, you're going to manifest a Moses. When you go through this zodiac sign, you're going to manifest a Jesus. When you go through this one, you're going to get an Abraham, so on and so forth. It just depends on the cycle that the sun is going through, a 26,000 year cycle. It goes through all 12 zodiacs. So the sun takes 26,000 years to go through the whole zodiac. And when that resets, it's said to be a new age. That's what the whole age of Aquarius thing is all about. Because the age of Pisces was all about Jesus. Jesus the fish. When you see the Jesus, you see the symbol of the fish. So that represents the age of Pisces, or the age of religion. That's why things were so religious. If we look back at the past, people were very, very religious. That represents the age of Pisces, right? So that's why we are all of the zodiac signs. This is also going to the difference between the 12 astrology and the 13 astrology. Astrology with the 13 signs versus the astrology with the 12 signs. Is the 13 sign real? Is it what happened? That was a manifestation of the age of Aquarius. All this information that's now available to us is a manifestation of the age of Aquarius, because Aquarius is all about information. We are in the age of information, or we are in the age of technology. Or when we say the age of technology, we are in the age of knowing quantum mechanics, or knowing the subatomic nature of reality. The fact that we can even have these conversations, when these conversations were only able to be had in secret. This knowledge has always been known, but it could only be spoken in secret because, as we know by the story of Jesus, it teaches the principle: if you cast pearls to swine, they're going to actually turn against you. Basically, when you try to help people that are not trying to be helped, instead of you helping them, they will actually turn against you, and you get messed up because you were trying to help people who were not trying to be helped. So it ends up draining your energy instead of giving. You're trying to give them energy. It ends up draining. Now the relationship becomes parasitic. Exactly, astrology on another level. So this is why this science is multidimensional. You see, it can be applied on all levels, right? So let's read the first verse. All right, we got, what it's called when you smoke, it dries you out a little bit. So let me take my time. I don't want to stumble over my words. All right, verse 1. Then I stood on the sand of the sea. Because the Bible kind of switches the words. So when it sounds like it kind of, it's written in an older form of English. So sometimes it throws me off because my mind be trying to flip the word to how it's supposed to sound or the way it's supposed to be phrased. So my mind has to catch up. Let's continue. Then I stood on the sand of the sea. Sorry. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his head a blasphemous name. One more time, so we can have it on our mind. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. So what's the number one? In supreme mathematics is knowledge, and numerology is the sun, right? What is knowledge? Knowledge is knowing, right? Observing, identifying your surroundings. So when you're doing a knowledge to something, you're gathering information, right? So when you're trying to gather knowledge, okay, where am I? What am I doing? Like, you got to look around and you're gathering knowledge. You're gathering information by observing sacred geometry, sacred fractals. So you're looking at the sacred fractals, trying to basically make sense of the mathematical equation you are looking at. We're looking at mathematical equations, so we are seeking to solve the problem, right? It's a problem that needs to be solved. So we're attempting to solve the puzzle. Like, okay, what's going on? What am I doing? Knowledge. So as we just read, what was described was the information about the beast. A blasphemous name, 7 heads and 10 crowns. It identified the beast. A blasphemous name, 7 heads and 10 crowns. Right? Now let's take it to the sun. The sun is the source, right? First number, the manifestation of the source. Some people say the 7-headed beast is the conspiracy. The 7-headed beast conspiracy. Well, that's why I say there's multiple ways to look at it. If they view it in that certain fashion and they have, they take that route, then they take that route because that's what they see. And if that's what they see, then that's what they see. So if that's the path they want to take, then they take that path. And that's why I said we all have a certain path that we're going to view the Bible based on our personality. You're going to be drawn to more subjects, more different than other ones, or more people, or more different prophets. It's a reflection of you. You can truly find yourself in the Bible. That's a true statement. You can find yourself in the Bible based on the people and the stories you identify with. The source energy, the sun. The sun is the source. So it's giving you information to the source. Let's read the second one. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. I'll read it again. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet was like the feet of a bear, and his mouth was like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. Now we got it got plentiful in this motherfucker real quick. We got a leopard, we got a bear, we got a lion, and we got a motherfucking dragon. Who was all these motherfuckers? What? Number 2, let's apply the supreme mathematics. Number 2 is wisdom. What is wisdom? A flow, a motion, a way of life, the Tao, right? The principles or the laws of mathematics that are in motion, the laws of mathematics in motion, sacred geometry in motion, spirituality in motion. What's the motion? Or we can go to the number 2 in numerology, which is the moon. The moon also represents wisdom, flowing emotions, right? So we see that the beast isn't of itself. The beast in and of itself is just a figure or a structure. It let us know the dragon gave the beast its power. The wisdom came from the dragon. The dragon is what's animating this figure. This figure in and of itself is just a figure. The dragon gave him his throne and his power and his authority. So this dragon, or you can say this oracle, something greater than the beast. The dragon is, you can say, like a spirit, and the beast is a physical beast. The dragon represents the wisdom. So while everybody's going to be afraid of the beast, they have no knowledge of the dragon. Because you can say a dragon represents a frequency. The dragon is what is never manifested. The dragon manifests itself through the beast. So the beast is the vessel of the dragon, or the wisdom of the dragon. The same thing with us, right? Our spirit is using the body as a vessel to express itself. The body is just a vessel. The spirit is expressing itself through the vessel of the body physically to complete its experience, to have a shell and to also not have a shell, to have the experience of being compressed and have to expand within the laws of mathematics versus having to expand in realms that have more higher mathematics. The spirit realm just represents higher mathematics. That's why you can see more things, more grander things, things that you will never see physically because it represents a higher level of math. Right? The spirit of the dragon is manifested through the beast. Wisdom, right? Let's continue. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled and followed the beast. We read again. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled and followed the beast. All right, there we go. 3 is not wisdom, understanding. The understanding is now the people are bearing witness to the beast. The understanding has now been manifested, or the circle has been complete. You got the 3 levels of the circle. You got the beast, you got the dragon, and you got the people now, or man, woman, child. You know what I mean? Sun, moon, star, man, woman, child. Right? The Holy Trinity. The first level of manifestation is now complete. That's the understanding. And numerology is Jupiter. Jupiter represents expansion. So the spirit of the dragon occupies the vessel of the beast. And through the vessel of the beast, it has expanded its influence to the people. So the dragon, the spirit of the dragon through the beast has now expanded its realm of influence to the people. Because it said the beast, it looked as if it had been mortally wounded and the wound was healed. The spirit of the dragon healed a wound. So it's like looking at a man who just got shot in the head. You see him fall, blood all over the place. Then he just gets up and the bullet falls out of his head and you instantly see it heal on some Wolverine shit. Motherfuckers would observe that and bow before that man as if he was God himself. They're like, this has got to be God. This has got to be Jesus. Jesus has came back. You will have crowds of motherfuckers following that person instantly. Police have had to shut some shit down. Like we were talking about in the Antichrist video. Police will have to instantly stop that. So, if you were to see an act like that, people would be instantly hypnotized. So the spirit of the dragon has now expanded its influence to the people. But we see that the power is not coming from the beast. It's coming from the spirit of the dragon, which has never manifested physically. The understanding. All right. Let's continue on. Let me make sure the battery is good. Let me see how we're doing. What time is 12:30, 69. We're good. Everybody in here good? Before we go further, is making sense to everybody? You know what I mean? Y'all let me know if y'all got any questions. Going through this as slow as possible. And let me keep going. The fourth verse. Cool. So they worshiped the dragon, who gave authority to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? I'll say it one more time. Hold on. Okay? So they worship the beast. So they worship the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So the culture has now been manifested. What do I mean by that? Number 4 is culture, or your way of life. Now the people have a way of life. What is the people's way of life? Worship of the dragon and worship of the beast. That becomes their culture. Worship of the spirit of the dragon and worship the physical manifestation of the dragon through the beast. Just like people say Jesus is a physical manifestation of God. So they worship Jesus as well as worship God. Jesus is the Son of God, so they worship God and Jesus, or as well as the Holy Spirit, right? That's basically what all this is saying. So their way of life is worship of the spirit and the dragon. Let's continue forward. So we see when we apply these numerologies, or we can go to numerology. Number 4 is Rahu. We know Rahu is all about that outlaw spirit. This is an outlaw spirit because these people are removing themselves from their previous culture to worship this new shit. Because they already had a way of life before they even seen the manifestation of the beast. So they were already living and doing whatever they was doing. So when they witnessed it, and it says not everybody witnessed it, it was just a certain group of people that witnessed this act. So they changed their previous way of life to follow the way of the dragon and the way of the beast. Their way of life was shifted. Right? So we see Rahu was that outlaw spirit, that spirit that would shift you into reality. Like, okay, this world isn't as pretty as I thought it was, so maybe I have to bend a couple rules. Even if I don't completely break the law, I may have to bend some rules to swivel my way into some shit, because we understand that this matrix is real and it's tough. It's nothing easy. So this is when we apply the mathematics and the numerology. We see that a greater story is being told that can be applied to any way of life. Let's continue. The 5th verse. And he was given a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And he was given authority to continue with 42 months, or for 42 months. I'll read it again. And he was given a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And he was given authority to continue for 42 months. He was given a mouth. We know 5 is Mercury all day. The spoken and the written word, right? We already know that right off the jump. Is it really a coincidence that these numbers are corresponding with these verses? Do we really think this is a coincidence? Literally, it's talking literally about Mercury. And we know number 5 in supreme mathematics is power. Power is, now your culture is in motion. So first, number 2, your wisdom was in motion. Because the only 2 numbers that break down to themselves out of the supreme mathematics, like you can break down, knowledge, you can break down wisdom, you can break down understanding. When you break down wisdom, it borns itself, meaning you're going to get the 2 again. If you break down power, power breaks down to the number 5, so it goes back into itself. So the only 2 numbers that go back into themselves are wisdom and power. Wisdom, as we see, is the spiritual energy. Power is the physical energy, or the speaking, or the moving energy. Energy that's in motion, that electromagnetic energy, right? That spark. So we see 5 is Mercury, and it's talking about now the beast has a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. So what is this talking about? So obviously the beast wasn't just telling a bunch of lies. It said he spoke great things and blasphemies. So that means he was mixing truth with his own philosophy, or I guess the beast, right? So the beast was mixing the truth with his own agenda was mixed with the truth. So truth was being spoken, and you can say that's what really was holding the people, not necessarily the deception or the agenda. It's because it was coming in a truthful experience. So it's definitely not just some wicked spirit. Just all of a sudden, people were like, "Yo, like this is the best thing that's ever happened to us." It really got the people feeling like, "Yo, we have found the Creator. We have found God." So the people don't feel manipulated. They don't feel like slaves. They don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. They feel like they are being led in the right direction, right? Because now that we're able to see the full story, we're seeing more of the picture here, more so than a story that makes no fucking sense. Let's continue. Then he opened his mouth and blasphemed against God, to blaspheme his name, his turbulence, and those who dwell in heaven. One more time. Then he opened his mouth and blasphemed against God, to blaspheme his name, his turbulence, and those who dwell in heaven. So it wasn't until we get to the number 6, we know all about that 666, right? It's not until the 6 is manifested that the so-called blasphemy about God, and basically he started talking down on their previous culture. It wasn't until they were completely comfortable. Now he speaks about like, yo, that what y'all was doing was devilish. He's labeling that devilish. So, in figures of speech. So now basically he's talking that war talk. The beast is talking that war talk like, yo, I think we need to do something about these motherfuckers. It ain't just we over here and they over there. No, I think we need to go get these motherfuckers. Just like we were speaking in the Antichrist video, the holy wars. The holy wars are manifested under the number 6. That's what the 666 is all about. It's definitely all about the holy wars. So that's what I mean. So when they associate 666 with the devil, it's basically the excuse to wage war, or the holy war. So the excuse, as we said, the Bible can kill or heal, but it would always be because of this. The number 6 is the law, or equality in supreme mathematics, or the law. So the holy war can only be engaged through use of the law. As we were speaking about before, 9/11 could not have happened if a holy war was not engaged. They could not have did what they did without, it had to be a complete or a collective agreement. Enough people had to agree to wage the holy war. So they had to make the opposition, whether the opposition was self-created or not. Most people say like, yo, this was a complete fabrication. None of this shit was actually, there was really no Osama bin Laden, whatever. That's probably like a keyword, when for the YouTube, like they flag and shit, whatever. But we just gonna speak the truth. So whether it was real or made up, it was enough to manipulate the mind, right? So people can label something the devil, therefore the holy word can manifest. The holy word cannot manifest if you don't have something labeled as the devil. So you need that. So you have to follow the law to engage holy word. So there is really no people behind the strings pulling strings, or people behind the scenes pulling strings as we think it is. That's why they have to manipulate other people's minds to manifest the trickery. They can't do it in and of themselves, because there's certain rules and regulations that must be followed, even for the so-called Illuminati. They still have to follow certain laws, because again, this is a book of spells, so the spells must be followed. So they're not really doing anything they want to do. It's only through the manipulation that they're able to do what they're doing. It is only through manipulation. It's only through illusion. Remember, 4, 5, and 6 represents the physical world, which is illusion. So it is only through the illusion that they're able to manifest, but they still are subjected to certain laws. So all the people who think, oh, they're lawless, They still have to. This is why they go, well, why do you even manipulate people? If you got all this money, you can just terrorize the people. Why do you have to follow rules and regulations? Because there's a such thing as universal law. Things are not as wicked or tricky as we think they are based on how we feel. Or people are just terrorizing people because they don't have shit else to do. No, they must stay in your subconscious mind to be relevant. So if they wasn't doing all the fuckery, they wouldn't be relevant. And if they were not relevant, they would not exist. They only can exist through their relevance in your mind. Because, right, you are the conductor. The Matrix said they're using you like a battery, right? They're using you like a conductor. They're manifesting on your subconscious mind. Their reality can only be possible on your subconscious mind. That's also what we saw in the movie Dark City. In the movie Dark City, when they were shooting people in their third eye, and it manifested their reality. People were becoming rich because they would inject this serum into a person's third eye, which would activate the pineal gland, and people that were doing okay became rich and wealthy overnight. You will literally see reality changing overnight. It's basically time stopped at a particular time every day. You just watched Dark City yesterday, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Time stopped at a particular time every day, and everybody went to sleep. When everybody went to sleep, there were a selected group of people who were able to stay awake, and they would take the energy from people. They would collect the serum, people's third eyes, because nobody would know that time stops at the same time, and it was never light. People were so manipulated that they did not notice that the sun was not rising. They did not notice that the sun was not rising. That's just how deep in the sleep they was. They literally didn't know, like, hey, the sun hasn't rose in like 15, 20 days. People didn't even notice. That's just how asleep they were. So every time, at a certain time would stop, and it would eject certain people in their third eye, and their reality would manifest overnight. But we see time was stopped. Because when the third eye is activated, when you truly in the realm of thought or the realm of imagination, time stops. That's why we say that time is different when you're in the dream realm or when you're in the spirit realm. The time frequencies are different. So 20 minutes here can be 8 hours in the dream world. So it's as if time has stopped physically and you have gained new time or new energy because you are aware in the dream world. That's why most people can't even conceive that. A 20-minute physical dream can feel like 8 hours. People can't even conceive that shit. Like, yo, do you know how much time that gives you to do all your work? Because you can engage in your spiritual work while in the dream world if you can maintain your awareness. Everything that you're doing here, you can do that and more. You can be building your astral kingdom. So that it can appear here. That's why we don't have people. That's what's happening now. It's the reverse. People don't even realize that, damn, I don't even dream no more. Or I barely dream. I don't remember. Dreams are like irrelevant. When I was small, dreams were my whole life. I always looked forward to dreams. Dreams were magnificent. Now we don't even give a fuck about them. People are not deep of a sleep. It's just all about getting the money, getting the money, getting the money, getting the money. Motherfuckers don't care about. You can expand your time. This is how people become millionaires. You know what the ultimate secret is? Because they say the Illuminati basically collects the melanin from dead bodies and they consume the melanin. They're like vampires, right? For people that know about the so-called conspiracy. Anyway, them collecting the organs from people, they killing people and collecting the organs. You know what I mean? For people that know that, the ultimate reality is they need the melanin so that they can dream. Because if they don't dream, then they don't have anything. That's why you can say our dreams are being taken away from us. We are being robbed of our dreams because we gotta fucking work this 9 to 5. We gotta deal with this physical shit. So our mind be so focused on this that we can't detach. That's why I said like 20 minutes here is an 8-hour dream. People can't even fathom that because they're so locked down in the matrix or the number 6. They're locked down in the matrix. So we understand. When you break your sense of time, that's when everything becomes wonderful. When you break out of that square of time. Let's continue. Number 7. it was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. So now we know that the number 7 is a number of God. He's seeming pretty godly now. See, first it was just a group of motherfuckers. Now it's saying he was given authority over every tribe, tongue, and nation. Oh, this is some godly shit now. What the fuck is going on? We know that number 7 is K2. K2 is a number of spirituality. So remember, we're talking about dreams, right? So the Matrix robs you of your dreams, or basically robs you of your spiritual energy, so that you can't dream. Like there's a reason why dreams are so hard to have. Like that's not a coincidence. Just in case y'all think I'm bullshitting. So the opposition having your dreams, they can access the God realm, which what? Gives them authority over every tribe, tongue, and nation. And the only way to get to this God realm is you have to have that spiritual energy so that you can retain your dreams. You have a greater access to time. You can access higher levels of mathematics through the dream world, which will give you access to the spirit world. It's levels of mathematics. You need your dreams to live. If we don't dream, we die. For those who didn't know that, if you stop dreaming, you die. You can't even survive, because it's the processes your brain has to go through when you dream. It has to go through that higher level of mathematics so that it can make sense of life. You need to dream to even have a sense of life, to even make sense of life. You know, it's really that serious. So for those of us not dreaming, it's a reason why we not. Because again, for you to be dreaming, for you to have and retain your memory of the spirit world and the dream world, gives you access again. Now, an hour's sleep can be a day. And again, I'm just throwing out examples of ratios of shit. 8 hours of sleep could be a whole day or a whole week in the dream world. So you got a whole fucking week to do whatever the fuck you want. Do you know how much can be accomplished? And people want to talk about manifestation. I get asked about manifestation more than anything else. Do you truly know? Do you remember your past lives? You have to go into the dream world to even know any of that. You won't even have an understanding. This is how we gain access to our true identity and whatever else we want to know spiritually. So if you had an extra week to do whatever the fuck you wanted, people can't even conceive that. Exactly. You can see future logic. Again, time is not linear as we think it is. You have a true sense of time. You are absolutely right. Time is more circular, or it goes in cycles more so than a straight line from A to B. You understand time in its true sense. So time is the physical reality, the quantum reality, and the spiritual reality. They are all intertwined, as opposed to time is just some linear shit that's only access here. So if you had an extra week to do whatever the fuck you wanted, again, people can't even conceive that. It can't even be conceived. That's just too abstract for the average person to even conceive. So that's why they are not having those experiences, because they can't conceive it, because they lock down. So again, we see that number 7, that godly shit is now manifesting authority over every tribe, tongue, and nation. All right. Hold on. Who should I pray to if I want to overcome a long, ongoing physical trauma? Pray to yourself. Write a poem to yourself. Memorize that poem and say it to yourself every night before you go to sleep, and every morning when you wake up. You will see results. If you keep up that discipline, you'll see results. You don't have to do nothing fancy. It's just about retaining the memory. Remember, to program the subconscious mind, it's repetition. You got to keep doing it. Repetition. until it seep into the subconscious mind and it becomes your reality. What you speak becomes your reality. So when you were speaking your truth based on what you wrote, when you're speaking your truth, it manifested your reality. Let's keep going. We make sure we're good on energy and time. Where we at with it? We good? Let's do it. Hold on. All right. Number 8, verse 8. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Let's read it again. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the earth. What the fuck are they talking about? What the fuck? The Lamb of the foundation of the earth? See? Symbols. Alchemy. What the fuck? What is this Lamb character? So, the number 8 is Saturn. We know all about that Saturn. That's Satan, right? The foundation of the earth. What is the foundation of the earth? Carbon. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere. Let's see. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the earth. So it's saying that only certain people can fall victim to that. Everybody will fall to their knees and worship this beast, except those, one more time, except those whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the earth. Who are these people? People were able to have abstract thought, who think deeper, who think on an esoteric level because they have access to a greater reality. So they honestly don't give a fuck about this beast because they know who they are. They really don't give a fuck about the beast. They don't give a fuck how great it appears to be because they know who they are. Right? So all those who worship him, except those whose names have not been written in the book of life and slain from the Lamb of the foundation, right? We don't have to read it again. But we understand, like, everybody will fall victim except those who have knowledge of themselves, or those who are so-called satanic. The number 8, Saturn, that satanic energy, that carbon energy, that melanin energy, that etheric energy, that pressure, that diamond frequency. You got to put pressure on the carbon to create the hardest substance known to man. That takes pressure. And again, anything that creates pressure is deemed satanic. For all those who want to know what that truly means, satanic just means pressure. You choosing to take on more pressure. What do we say about Kefir or Zether? About taking on more challenges instead of trying to lessen the weight? You putting on more weight, more challenge, because you chose to take the red pill. And that's what it means to live that type of life, a lifestyle, taking on more challenge so you can be a greater, go into your spirit, or your dream, and your spiritual mind. Because in order to do any type of dream work, spiritual work, you have to have popped that red pill. That's why everybody else around here, that's why they're called zombies, because they don't have access to their dreams or the spirit realm. They only have access to 1/3 of reality. And the 5% call this the 85% of the people. Peace. Let's continue on. Number 9. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. That's it. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. Are we talking about the physical ear? Are we talking about sound? If anyone has an ear, let him hear. Okay, let's What is 9 in numerology? Mars. And we know Mars is all about that direct energy, that laser beam energy. Energy that has been concentrated or pressurized into a little small beam that can penetrate any form of matter. That's Mars. So for anyone who have an ear, let them hear. So what type of ear? It's not talking about the physical ear, because obviously these are just words. These are stories. So it's talking about your spiritual ear. What is the spiritual ear? What is 9 in superior mathematics? Born, manifestation, completion. Right? Break what word down? What word are you talking about? The number 9, completion, manifestation, laser beam energy. So you can say the most compressed thing, something as small as a seed, can grow to something as grand as a tree. If anyone have a hear, let them hear. What are you hearing? It's letting you know, because before it's talking about those last phrases. Except those whose name have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. That's what it's talking about. Those so-called satanic ones, those so-called abstract thinkers. If anyone has a ear, let them hear. That means you can only fall victim to worldly pleasures if you don't have access to your dream and spirit mind, because you're going to try to do everything here. You don't give a fuck about trying to do everything here when you got 20 extra fucking hours in the dream time to go into the spirit realm to do whatever the fuck you want. Exactly. The rebels, the dreamers, the outlaws, the spiritual, whatever name, whatever title you want to give them. The Gnostics, the Sufis, the Kabbalistics, whatever. So, number 10. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience in the faith of the saints. One more time. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. So that's letting you know now. So now we're going into the knowledge cipher, knowledge of the cipher. What is it talking about? This is saying that those who fall and worship this beast will be lured into captivity and will have to kill. Because now they're picking up swords. Because what? The holy war. When the holy war is established, now everybody's picking up their guns. He who lives by the gun must die by the gun, right? We understand all these phrases. So when you accept that way of life, when you accept that culture, when you knowledge that cipher or that way of life, that all, so now the people are acknowledging, like, okay, or the saints actually. The saints are like, okay, the reason why we are not falling victim to this is because we understand those who are walking that path will eventually be led into captivity because they're being deceived. Also, because they're picking up their guns, their swords, weapons, physical weapons, their whole reality is ruled off of using physical force. Their whole reality is ruled off of physical force. They don't know nothing else but war because their vibration has been lowered that low that they use war to accomplish anything in life. So the people are having knowledge of this cipher. The saints have knowledge of the cipher. That's why they are called saints. And again, the saints are not the holy people as we think that's clothed up. It's the rebels. It's the outlaws. They walk in disguise. You think you're going to be walking around here looking like a nun and not attract attention? We blend in to look like everybody else. We move in secret. We're not trying to stand out. We blend in. We move in the shadows because we understand. So we're not trying to necessarily live outside of the nation. We're trying to live inside of the nation in secret. So that's why, you may just be a person that's working a job and doing what everybody else does. But you have the knowledge, so you can go beyond that. So you really don't give a fuck about what's really going on physically. Your mind is just not into humanity and what the fuck is going on with everybody else's life, gossip in the news and fake bullshit, soap operas and all that. Your mind isn't concerned about any of that, so you really don't give a fuck. You're unaffected by that. That's what a saint is. It's the outlaw who has retained their memory and who can go beyond this physical illusion and actually take all the bullshit off their mind so that they can put their mind outside of them. Let's continue. Then I saw another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. One more time. Then I saw another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. So now we got 2 beasts. That 11, 1 plus 1 is 2, right? We also know 11 is a number of the spiritual oracle or the messenger. What is this? It's another beast? Another one? Oh, they thought it was just one? But now this one is speaking like a dragon. The other one didn't speak like a dragon. So what is it? What is it about speaking like a dragon? Remember, number 11 is about the awakener, right? Most people awaken when they see the 1111. It's the number of the spiritual calling. It's a spiritual calling. But what is the spirit? The spirit of the dragon is now manifested. Remember, the 2 is wisdom. The spirit of the dragon is now being manifested in this second beast, right? So in that, are we peeping in? So now the spirit of the dragon is now manifested. Let's see what happens next. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell on it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. One more time. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, who deadly wound was healed. So now we got 2 motherfuckers running shit. Now how is this possible? Because people accepted that way of life, that war lifestyle. So it was so much carnage that they created another beast in their image. See, the spirit of the dragon needed more energy to manifest. The spirit of the dragon could only create the vessel of the first beast and animate this beast spiritually, right? So the only way for the spirit of the dragon to manifest was through all that carnage. People changing their way of life and start dealing with the sword or blood rituals. The dragon needed blood. Because we know how powerful the DNA is. You transform your DNA, you transform your consciousness. Your DNA or your blood is completely linked to your consciousness. The more clean your blood, the more pure your thoughts, the more clear your mind. Because we're dealing with the 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is an understanding. 3 is clarity of thought, clarity of vision. In order to have that clarity, your blood must be in a alkaline state, right? Or a clean state using your thoughts. So let's just say you eat terrible. You have to apply thought to eat better. But even more important than eat better, you have to change your thoughts completely. You have to change your way of life, which goes beyond your diet. So the understanding is manifest because the spirit of the dragon needed blood to manifest. Now that you got people to kill and slay and actually celebrate an ambition after you just slaughtered a whole colony of people, a whole culture of people, you're celebrating like you have accomplished something. And now you got all this blood and guts and gore everywhere. You humiliate the people. You're doing all type of sick shit now. Now the spirit of the dragon can manifest through that understanding. Like, okay, now the people have truly accepted and understand me, and they have accepted it. Remember, this is the saints are unaffected. The rebels are unaffected because they got better shit to do. But those who don't, now that you have given your spirit, now that you have given your blood, now you're giving blood. Now you have what? Made a blood sacrifice for all my conspiracy heads. Now you have made a blood sacrifice because you didn't took off heads now. So now the spirit of the dragon is manifested in this motherfucker. Do we see the science? Do we see the mathematics? Do we see the laws that are manifesting? Let's continue forward. The 13th. He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from the heaven on the earth in the sight of men. One more time. He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. He makes great signs. What is signs? Hieroglyph. 1 + 3 is 4. The culture, the way of life, the signs, what you see. That's why it's so hard to find art, right? Because if your whole reality was surrounded by art, your consciousness will be on a higher level mathematically. So when you walk around and see graffiti, it's enhancing your level of consciousness mathematically because you're looking at sacred geometry. You are looking at hieroglyphs. So he makes great signs. He's able to manifest great signs or great illusions, great hieroglyphs to entertain these warlike people now. These warlike people are entertained by the flame, right? Because Mars is a real hot energy. So people of the sword are entertained by the flame, the illusions, party, drinking the alcohol, smoking the weed. Like they just really, they have completely accepted this way of life. And so the dragon is able to manifest hieroglyphs that reflects this life. So this lifestyle is now being reflected in the art, right? This becomes their culture. Now they have symbols. So they can have blood-filled walls, they can just paint their reality because they just killed a bunch of motherfuckers. So now they get to rearrange shit, do whatever, have all type of imagery around. So now it's manifesting imagery. This becomes their culture. Now they have restructured their field of vision around them. Let's continue forward. All right. 14. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. One more time. And he deceived those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. Wounded by the sword and lived. Who the fuck did that? Does the Jesus story come to mind? Because we know the image of Jesus is incorrect. The image of Jesus is a creation. The image of Jesus is a symbol instead of an actual story. The imagery of Jesus is a symbol of a man who was wounded by a sword and lived, ascended. But let's look at it from a different view, because 1 + 4 is 5, right? 1 + 4 is 5, so we're dealing with Mercury. We understand that it was granted that power in the sight of the beast. Now, what is this about being in the sight of the beast? What beast is it talking about? It's talking about the people now. The people have become beast-like. So it's only in the sight, only because the beast or the people are giving it energy. The people are now giving that energy, that ether, that spirit energy. Mercury is about the air, the manifestation. The people are giving that thought. Mercury also represents your way of thought, right? The way you think. It's the thought that's being placed on these images. that's creating this reality. So just like we were just talking about Dark City in the Matrix, it's our own minds, because we allow people to manifest our own subconscious that makes this shit what it is. Once we take our mind off the shit, it is no longer that way. So it is only in the sight of the beast that this, number 5 is also power, that this spirit even has power. It is only through the sight or the thought or the energy of the beast, people, as well as the other beasts, because there's 2 of them now, that these images can even be made manifest and even have power. These images have no power if there's no thought in sight. Let's continue on. He was granted power to give breath. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, and that image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. One more time. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, and that image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Isn't that just what happened with Christianity? It was a time where if you wasn't Christian, you die. Oh, you practice witchcraft, you die. You a warlock, you die. So when people ask, is the Bible historical? It definitely tells the story of history, just not in the way we think. Keep that in mind. It definitely tells history, just not in the way we think. So, let me see. This was 15. Remember, 1 plus 5 is 6. Remember, the 6 is the matrix. Now, the beast is speaking. And anybody who don't fuck with me, kill him. Now, the mind is completely possessed. Now, you went from altering your way of life. This beast speaking truth. He put his agenda within the truth. Now, you kill in the image of this beast. You doing blood sacrifices. You doing all type of shit. You have completely altered your thinking. Now, the beast says, construct images in my name. Worship me. Worship the spirit of the dragon as well as the image of the beast. Because you gave a blood sacrifice. Now you created this second beast who speaks like the dragon. Now the voice or the spirit of the dragon is now manifest. Just in case y'all didn't get that part, remember the dragon could only use the beast as the vessel in the first part. Now there's another beast, and it speaks like the dragon, because now that people have gave their blood sacrifices, the actual voice of the dragon can be manifested through this second beast. So the second beast speaks the voice of the dragon. So the actual physical dragon is still not manifested. He's still using another vessel, but this vessel, because it's been given blood as sacrifice, can speak in the tone of the spirit of the dragon, which has even more power. So it's the voice of the dragon. Now this dragon is doing shit. Now the dragon is saying, worship him, worship him, worship him. So the dragon isn't saying, worship me, worship me. Of course they worship the spirit of the dragon, but the dragon is saying, create images in the name of the beast. So you went from creating these images and doing you, now you killing motherfuckers, slaughtering people. So you didn't took over other people's way of life, and now anybody who don't fuck with you has to die. Right? Anybody who don't fuck with you has to die. This is how far gone the people are at this point. So now it's just okay, we kill people, we take their land, we conquer them, and this is our home. Now they're like, yo, we picking up the sword to anybody who don't fuck with us. And if you don't fuck with us, we taking your head off. Now it's that serious. That devilish shit is real at this point. That number 6 is real at this point. Let's continue forward. We got 3 more verses. We get up out of here. Let me make sure the battery is good. 36 here. We get up out of here. Okay. 16th verse. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. Now we're talking about the mark of the beast, right? One more time. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead. Mark on that right hand. So we know about the forehead, about closing up the third eye. What is this right hand shit? Wasn't most of us instructed to write with our right hand in school? Right? So we ain't talking about an actual mark. You enslaved to write with your right hand, to read from right to left to right. Indoctrination, right? So the Bible is not a historical book, but it's definitely telling history. If you understand what's being said here. Remember, 1 plus 6 is God, or 7. 7 is God. Now you're enslaved. The mark on your forehead, your pineal gland, your dreams, and your spirituality, and you got a mark, or you got a mark on your right hand, which keeps you locked down logically. No creativity. So either your creativity is destroyed either way. That's what most people don't realize. Your creativity is destroyed either way. Because if you turn off the third eye, you can't tap in. If you only know how to write with your right hand, or you're indoctrinated reading, we know the story. That's why we have to study esoteric knowledge to get some game and to activate our spirituality. We have to go from right to left now. We have to do some completely opposite shit, some abstract shit to even get here. Or other words, we learn how to, exactly, because when you write with your left hand, it's the right side of the brain. The right side of your brain controls the left side of your body. So we know the right brain is all about creativity. So when you write with your left hand, you know that it manifests in a completely different way. So it ain't even about people who write with their left hand. It's about learning how to write with both of your hands. That's the true thing. So even if you are a lefty, you learn how to write with your other hand, and that's when you do your magic. This is your magical hand, the hand that you don't know how to write. You may not know how to write your name. You may not have precision, but this is your artistic. Your left hand can flow and do all type of shit. Your right hand can't do, because your right hand is precise. It's about logic. It's point, 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 point. But this is fluid. You can't do all. You can't. It's like, no, I need to scribble. I can maybe do some cursive, right? But I got to do it different, because the right brain don't work like the left brain. So your left hand don't work like the right hand. So when you learn how to do both, I'm just throwing out some thoughts. We almost done. 17. And that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. One more time. And that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Do I have a code? No, this is just cotton mouth. It's just cotton mouth. That's all. Once the video is done, I'm going to go in, get a drink of water. I'll be good. So it's just cotton mouth. That's all it is. So we're good. You see, we still on point. So don't let the voice don't let the voice throw you off. We all good. So we see, so you can't buy or sell unless you got that mark. Is that not what's going on right now? You can't get a job unless you have certain certificates. It's like you can't advance in life without going through a certain path. They make you have to go through all these things. High school, college, trade school, whatever. Like, you have to go through certain rounds or certain chambers to get anywhere in life. You got to take out loans, right? So you have to follow this path. Remember, we're talking about 17. That 8, that Saturn. Remember, Saturn is all about pressure. So they make you go through this process, this pressurized process, to even live. Does that sound pretty familiar? So you don't have a fucking choice. Exactly. Fraternities. Exactly. So you don't have a choice. It's either you do this or you will starve to death. Unless you have that outlaw spirit and you have access to your dreams and your spirituality. Because if you don't, all you have access to is the physical realm, you will die if you don't go through certain levels. Because if you try to do some underworld shit, if you're not smart enough, you get caught up in that too. It's still essentially a trap. So The last verse, 18. Last one. Here is wisdom. Let me see, because I have to turn the page. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. 1 plus 8 is 9. Now we're dealing with Mars again. It's the number of a man. We know Mars is definitely masculine energy. But is it talking about man as in human? Or is it talking about a consciousness? Man is mind. So when it say man, it's talking about a consciousness. It's not talking about a physical man. Because again, some people relate, okay, a physical devil. We know better. We know this is about spirituality. So a man is a mind. It's a number of a mind. It's a number of a consciousness. It's a consciousness. 666. So 666 is a spell. If you don't know how to reverse the energy. So you can work with, the dark side of the satanic energy if you know how to tame the energy and switch or open up the lock. But those who don't know that will get trapped into it. Though, again, you can say religious people. So, like, if all you have is a surface level of religion, you get trapped in that spell because you can never advance. So you locked into the matrix triple times. It's like a triple lock on it because it's just that deep into your mind. As he said, it started off as a people who was going the right way. They got deceived, switched their whole way of life, started killing people, took over their land. Now they begin to kill anybody who don't fuck with what they fuck with. So that they made a complete switch, 666. It's about a complete flip. The inverted pentagram, right? The inverted pentagram. That's exactly what happened. That pentagram motherfucking got inverted. And again, energy is neutral. It's just about how it's used. You can use the 666 for other reasons. So I'm not saying this is evil. I'm just saying this is what that energy represents, and that everything has lessons to it. So you can learn that 666 lesson. There are lessons and information, things that you can learn and benefit from it. But we see if it's used in a particular way, it will invert that pentagram. So, book of spells, book of alchemy, Hopefully that, that shot in the brain wasn't too severe. So, any questions? Well, we going almost 2 hours. You know how we do. We know how we do. So yeah, let's get this out. So we're gonna get up out of here. You know how we do. We fuck with the devil's leaf. It is what it is. So yeah, what I just spoke was absolute blasphemy. Just so you know, you see, this is heavenly to us, those who know. This is just heavenly information. Like, this feels good. It's like, yo, that's what that means. Okay, I can apply it this way, that way. Oh, I can see the meaning. But to certain people, this is complete blasphemy. Some people will hear this shit and want to take my fucking head off. So, hold on. When you said access to dreams, you were being literal, right? How do you bring dreams into reality literally? If you answered the question in the vid, I can go back. It's basically being aware, not having your intention on the 666. You have your attention on your dreams, and you have through your dreams are a portal to access the spirit realm. So when you tap into your dreams will just open up the portal to the spirit realm. But in order for you to access your dreams, you have to break your sense of time. You have to go beyond the barriers of time and the limitations of time. by not being sucked into the matrix, not being sucked into the physical reality. So that's how you, in order to even access dreams, I said, like, you got to fast, right? You got to fast. You got to lose sleep. You got to be subjected under pressure, do all type of extreme workouts. You don't just get to have access to your dreams because you want to. You got to essentially go against gravity to even do spiritual work. But that's just how the playing field is set up. It's not to complain about it. It's to accept the challenge. That's what it's all about, at least for us. It's about accepting the challenge. So, to answer your question, that's the answer. So, just giving y'all some food for thought. Just giving y'all some game, because like I said, I didn't premeditate none of this. As you see, no notes. So I broke it down as I was reading it to y'all. So this was all in the moment. Like, I didn't have all this premeditated. I didn't know what was going on. I wanted it to come out as pure as possible. So it's like I don't have time to mix it and do it, and I don't have time to infiltrate the information. I just have to just let the wisdom flow as it comes to me. So this is the purest you're gonna get it. Trust me. So definitely everybody check out the website asharenu.com. You know what I mean? I got all type of stuff over there. Check out the Facebook group. Check out the social media. All the links in the description. You know what I mean? We building up. We building up. You know what I mean? We already know. We up against some great odds. But we know who we are, so we accept the challenge. So that's why we don't focus on the 666. We focus on that 999. Because the 999 give you those war strategies. Since we know we at war, like, yo, it ain't because we want to be at war. That's just where we woke up. We woke up at war, so we tap into that 999. That 999 is going to give us those war strategies, how to navigate this war. Remember, 9 rules Aries as well as Scorpio. So there'll be those who fight the war in the light, such as those who want to get the laws changed and who want to be, have physical change. Then there's Scorpio, who navigates the underworld. So who goes a different route to achieve change. So you're not going in the light of the people. You work from the shadows, or you work from the subconscious. So that's why you choose your fate, however, whatever your personality may be. So, need I say more? And of course, we know this is a number 9. Magnums, like magnums, because of the force, like these guns are so forceful. You know what I mean? Obviously, the penis shape and all that. So we know guns resonate with the energy of Mars. That's why people are so obsessed with guns. And we know, America, if you read the ISIS papers, you know what I mean? You know all about the imagery. You know what I mean? The masculine energy being overwhelming. All right, so the battery's about to die, so we're going to get up out of here. Peace, so tap. Definitely check out the description. I'll hit y'all later. Peace, so tap. Chaos, destruction, madness, 100.